Hey guys, this is Gurinder here from Androidifi and welcome to Android app development for beginners number 5. In this video, we're going to talk about providing and accessing alternative resources in Android. An Android app mainly consists of two types of files, Java and resources. You use Java files to write Java code, like writing a method that determines what happens when you click a button. You use resources to separate images, text, animations, colors, dimensions, layouts, and much more from Java code. So here you can see that you have two Java files named main activity and main2 activity, which go inside the Java folder, and you have different types of resources that go inside the rest directory, such as drawable, layout, map, and values, which we'll talk about soon. Here you can see on the left you have a layout file named activity main.xml, which has a linear layout as a parent view and a child text view, and then on the right you have main activity.java file. The main purpose for separating Java and resources is to improve the user experience of the app. You can do so by providing a different layout for bigger screen devices so the users can take advantage of the extra space available on tablets. Also, you can target different groups of people by providing translated text in their native languages. Another reason is that you can maintain resources independently without messing with the Java code. Android OS automatically applies alternative resources at runtime after the OS detects the specific device configurations. So where are these files located in Android Studio project? Like I mentioned previously, the Java files go under the Java folder. In this case, it's only main activity, and the resource files go in specifically named folders depending upon the resource types, which in turn go in the rest directory. Resources, default, and alternative. There are two types of resources that you can provide for an Android app. Default resources provide the same behavior for your app regardless of different device configurations. You should always provide default resources for your app. Let's say that you have provided translated text in Spanish and you didn't provide default resources under values folder, and if the default language of a phone is French, then the app will crash as the system will not be able to detect strings in French, or it would not be able to find default strings to go to. Now, alternative resources are the ones that you as an Android developer design to meet the needs of various Android devices and its diverse users. Resource types. There are many different kinds of resources that the subfolders in the rest directory supports. For a complete list, go to the Android developer official page that will be linked in the description. Here are a couple. Drawable folder contains images that you're going to be using in your app. Map contains your app icons. Values folder contains XML files like strings, dimensions, styles, and colors. Layout folder contains XML files that define the user interface of your app. Providing alternative resources. To provide an alternative resource, you create a directory in the rest folder. The name of the folder has two parts to it: resource name and resource qualifier. Resource name is the name of the default resources such as drawable, layout, values, map, and resource qualifier is the name that targets a specific device configuration. For example, you can provide a specific layout when your phone is in landscape mode by creating a directory named layout-land. The name of the alternative resource file must match the default file name. So for example, if you want to provide alternative resources for Spanish language, then you right click on the rest folder and you create a new resource directory named values-es. After you create that, you go to the values folder, right click on it, go to new values resource file, and you create a new resource file named strings.xml. The directory name is going to be values-es for Spanish, and then you hit OK and you have strings.xml in Spanish. Accessing resources in XML and Java. In order to access resources in XML, you use @symbol resource type / resource name. So for example, @drawable/image @string/text1. Here for Android text you have @string/text1, @string/text2, and @string/text3 for all three text views. And here in strings.xml you have I like mangoes for text1, I like apples for text2, and I like avocados for text3. And on the bottom you have translated strings for Spanish language. Accessing resources in Java. To access a resource in Java, you use r.resourcetype.resource name. For example, r.drawable.image or r.string.text1. So what is R? R is a class in Android which contains resource IDs for all the resources in the rest directory. So for each resource there's an ID for it, and that ID is an integer, and that ID has two parts to it: the resource type, which could be string, layout, drawable, and the resource name, which is the name of the file that you as an Android developer provide. For example, r.string.text1 or r.string.text2 from previous examples. So let's jump over to Android Studio and apply what we just learned, where we'll provide translated text for a couple of different languages. So we're going to open up app, go to res, right click on it, new Android resource directory, and if you go down to locale, hit this button, then you can select different languages from here. So I'm going to go for French, and you can also type languages if you can't find yours. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to right click, new Android resource file, and the file name is going to be strings.xml. The resource type is going to be values, and the directory name is going to be values-fr for French, FRE. So that's what the directory name is going to be, and now hit OK. Let's go back to the default strings.xml, and I'm going to copy and paste this over and put it under the resources element and paste it. This is where I'm going to provide the translated text. For the app name, I would recommend you leave it at default because I don't think you could translate Androidify to French. So I'm going to leave it at default, but let's create some text views in activity-main.xml. So I'm going to get rid of this hello world. I'm going to go back to the default strings.xml and create a new string element. String name equals, I would say, hello world. So the name is gonna be hello world, and the value is gonna be hello world. Now this is gonna be the actual string that's gonna be displayed on the screen. This is just a title or a name to identify that string. And I'm gonna go back to activity main and type in add string / hello world, and I'm gonna change the text size to be 33 sp. Let's copy and paste this, and let's go back to strings.xml. Let's copy and paste this as well. So I'm gonna change the name of these two texts, and I'm gonna change it to text1, and the second one I'm going to change it to text2, and the value is going to be I like chicken. So for the second text tree, I'm going to say I eat horses. So I'm going to go back to activity-main.xml. For the text of the second text tree, I'm going to say add string / text1. Let me change it from relative layout to linear layout, so the views aren't on top of each other, and I'm going to set the orientation to be vertical. And for the third text tree, I'm going to set its text to be text2. So I eat horses. Let's go to Chrome browser and get the translations for these sentences from Google Translate. It's okay to use Google Translate to translate strings in your app. Since Google Translate is a machine translation, it's fine to use for common words. But if you want to publish your app to that Play Store, then I would recommend buying human translation services provided by Google. The link of this website is going to be in the description, so you can read more about the procedures. Google also provides these services directly in Android Studio for you to purchase them. I'm going to go to Translate and select French and English. I'm going to type in hello world. I'm going to copy and paste this. Well, first of all, I'm going to copy and paste these 3 string elements into the French folder, and I'm going to get rid of the English strings and copy this, paste it here. So I'm going to change this from I lie to I like, because as you can see that if I put I lie chickens, then I don't know if this is the translation for French or not, so I'm just gonna change it to I like chickens in Android Studio for now. And then I eat horses. Let's go back to French and paste this here. And now let's run this app on our phones. So if you get this error where it says apostrophe not preceded by backslash in this translated text, then simply put a backslash symbol before the apostrophe in this XML file as well as here. And now you should be good to go. Hit OK and install this app on your phone. And hopefully you should install this app on your phone without any errors. Once the app is installed on your phone, let's go to settings and all the way down to language and keyboard. Change our language to French. And if we go back to our app, you have successfully provided the translated text for your user. And now real quick, I'm going to show you what if we delete the default strings.xml file in Android Studio. So if I delete this app, hit OK, hit no. If you select yes here, then it's also going to delete the French strings.xml file, which we don't want. So now let's run this app again. Our app has been reinstalled. Now if I go back to settings and change the language to English, now if we go back to our app, then it's going to look pretty weird, which you don't want. So if I go back to settings and change the language and keyboard to French, and now if I go back to our app, then it's going to be able to translate the text. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to follow the written article over at androidifi.com. Also, make sure to follow me on social media, linked down in the description, and please subscribe to my channel for more content. Last but not the least, I'm Gurinder Singh from Androidifi, and I'm committed to helping you guys along the way.